not know how to do intros or outros.
That's okay.
So we'll figure that out.
Thank you.
And like I look like I just got from work.
I took a shower like
Yeah.
a few hours ago, and I was like, whatever my hair decides to do, it does. But
Yeah. Oh my god.
probably won't show up in a huge baggy sweatshirt in my baggy sweatpants because it's a Saturday afternoon.
I mean, I kind of want to like start just like wearing like PJs or like sweats or stuff because it's just a talk. It's just a conversation. So, but I mean like it's whatever. Okay, so I'm going to get up my little questionnaire thing and then we'll get started.
Okay.
But how have you been?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
just living life,
Really?
hanging out
Yeah.
with some people on like a regular basis now because school's back in session. But school's been good, kind of busy, but
good. Yeah.
that's what happens when you have 8-week classes. So
Ugh.
yeah, it goes by really fast.
Oh, I'm sure it does. Oh, jeez. Okay, we're going to get started now.
Okay.
All right, guys, welcome back to Bridal Briefings, and today we have Maliah. Maliah is a past bride, and your wedding hasn't been too far. It's not been that long ago, but it
was about 4
happened,
months ago.
Yeah. Wow. 4 months ago.
I know.
Holy crap. It literally felt like 2.5 months ago. That's, yeah.
It's a crazy thing.
Yeah.
I've like been telling people because like school's back in session. It's like,
Yeah.
I got married like 4 months ago, and I'm like, it's already been 4 months.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That is crazy. And I was like, no, it just goes by so fast because I'm always busy, of course. And then I'm like, oh my God, we got to get in touch and see how they're doing. And they're like, yeah, it's been like this long. I mean, and they look at me like, you should know that, right? I'm like, oh my God, I forgot.
It's been so long. But when you do so many of them, like,
right.
lines are going to get a little fuzzy.
Yeah. Well, how's married life since it's been 4 months?
I know. Kind of crazy. It's definitely been an adjustment getting used to like living with my husband now versus like not.
Yeah.
So I've learned so many new things about him, which some of them have been really great, but some of them are more on the annoying side. Like sometimes it takes him 5 minutes to shut off his alarm in the morning, and I'm like, it's 5 feet away from you. Like, I'm trying to go back to bed, and your alarm is going off at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've been always told that you're like it's gonna be a lot different when you live with your partner, no matter like how long it may be. That first like year to maybe even 2 years is kind of like, okay, what do I do with you? Or like, okay, this is what you actually do when no one else is around you. Okay, so, but it's like, I had to obviously do that with Eric, and I'm like, I love you, but holy moly, I need like some 5 minutes to myself.
Yeah, we have
maybe
learned
10.
we have learned that we need some alone time from each other. Like in the beginning, it was, oh my gosh, we live together. This is so exciting. And now we're like, okay, I need you to go play your game for like a few hours. I need to be by myself right now. Like I love you, but everything you do is annoying me. So that's been fun.
Yeah, no, but I'm sure you guys will get over those little hurdles, and it'll take time, or if not, it'll go right away. But that's the beauty of married life. You kind of, unfortunately, have to get used to the things and just embrace everything, which is nice. Awesome. Okay, so jumping right into some questions. How did he propose to you?
This is so fun. I love telling this story. So basically, I had told him, like, I want to know the week you're proposing just because I want to be a girl and get my nails done, okay?
Duh.
For the pictures, of course.
Yes.
And so he was like, okay, this is the week that it's happening.
Yeah.
And for the months leading up to that, he had kept hinting, like, it's going to happen later in the week, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It won't be early on in the week because we're both really, really busy.
Sure.
And so I wasn't expecting anything, really.
Okay.
He said he had dates planned for each night, so it's kind of like, you never know, because you're getting dressed up every night anyway.
Right.
And so then the week comes, and it's Sunday, and so, like, we went to church, we hung out after, and then we had, like, a training that night for, like, the student leaders of the college ministry.
Oh, sure.
And so we went to the training, and he was like, okay, when the training is over, like, we're going to go on our first little date to kind of start off proposal week. And I was like,
yeah,
you're so cute. Oh. So the training gets over, we leave, and he's like, okay, you have to close your eyes because this is a surprise. And I said, okay. So he'd brought a bandana and had, like, blindfolded me, so I have no idea, but I'm trying to, like, track where we're going.
Yeah.
And he took so many twists and turns that I ended up not realizing it.
Gotcha.
But we get to where we're going to go, and he is like, okay, it's time. Blindfold is still on because he has to lead me somewhere.
Right.
And so we get to the spot, and basically in Lincoln, I don't know if you know it, but on, like, 27th and Capitol, right by the zoo, there's, like, the hanging lights next to the fountain.
I don't know that.
It's okay.
Don't go out there, but it sounds
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And at the very beginning of our relationship, I was like, I want to go dancing there sometime. Like, I think that's so cute. And so he had remembered that this whole time. And he was like, I know you, takes off the blindfold. He's like, I know you've always wanted to dance with your boyfriend here. Oh. So that's where I thought I would take you to start off, like, proposal week. And I was like,
a tear.
You're so cute. So, like, he brought the speaker, and he's playing some songs, and we're kind of just like, slow dancing.
Sure.
And then he gets down on one knee, and in my head, I'm like, if this is, like, a fake proposal right now, I'm about to smack you so hard. But lo and behold, it wasn't fake. So he gives his little speech, which at this point, I'm gone. I'm like, this is really happening right now. What? And so, gives his speech, asks, will you marry me? I said, yeah, of course I'm going to marry you.
Right.
And so then like I said, at this point, nothing is really clicking in my brain. And he has said for the next, like, 5 to 10 minutes, I was just looking at it and looking at him and going, is it real? Is it real? This is real. Because I wasn't expecting it. Like, I thought it was so going to happen later in the week. And lo and behold, it didn't. So
my God.
Then we kept, like, dancing and hanging out and just, like, hugging. And it was really sweet.
So I'm assuming there was, like, tear after tear.
Oh.
After tear.
So many tears. I, like, FaceTimed my family because he had told them, like, this is how I'm going to do it. This is when I'm going to do it. So they knew that I was going to get engaged that day.
Oh.
And so then I FaceTimed. They were like, we were waiting for you to do this. And I was like, well, here it is.
Oh, my God. That's great. So, wait, so how long have you guys been dating before that?
We had got together in September of 22 and got engaged in March. So it was, like, 5-6 months.
Sure.
Yeah, like 6 months.
Yeah, okay. Because I was going to say, even, like, at the end of this week, I will forget a small detail. So I'm surprised he remembered that. That's cute. Oh, my God. That's, like, okay. That's so cute.
I love him.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love hearing everyone's stories, and it's, like, so different. It's like, oh my God. Yeah, so the next question I have, when you guys first started, or you or whoever started planning your wedding, what was kind of your first to, like, the end of the steps for planning it?
Yeah. So I think we had actually started talking and planning out the wedding that we wanted before we got engaged. And so we were like, we might as well get engaged and talk about this.
Right.
Which is why the engagement happened when it did.
Sure.
But we were talking about, like, some of the big things, obviously. We're like, the venue, where are we going to have it? How many people? Who are those people? And, like, starting to make some of those lists and stuff. And we were visiting different places and talking about the guest list, and it was all that fun stuff. And then it was, like, some of the smaller details of, like, what do we want our colors to be? Like, how do we want to decorate and everything? And who do we want to be on the wedding party? Like, groomsmen, bridesmaids, who's going to be the ring bearer, the flower girl. Okay. And, like, how we wanted each, like, person that we knew we wanted involved, like, how to involve that person.
Okay.
So that's kind of a little bit of it.
Yeah, it seems like it went pretty well, like pretty like steady flow, easy go. That's good. That's always good. It's always good to hear. Because I'm like sometimes I hear like, oh my god, you're never gonna believe this, or like everything, and I'm like, I feel you. I'm so sorry.
So sorry for you.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm going okay, so I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Well, we did have some things that initially we like saw differently. Like,
sure.
I had always thought of having like a bigger wedding with a lot of friends and family, and he always wanted kind of a smaller one.
Sure.
And so kind of like discussing that, and then we're going to have a wedding of like 300 people.
Oh,
but when we were doing the guest list, we got really stressed out, and I got really stressed out of like, how far out do I go with family, and if I invite this friend, do I have to invite this friend? And it just got like really, really stressful. And so after talking about it, we were like, maybe we don't have a really big wedding, even though that's something that I thought that I wanted. And I'm really glad that we had a small wedding in the end, because it just allowed us to be more intimate with the people that were there.
So. Yeah, and I think that's a really good idea too, because then so when you came to that conclusion, or like having that hard time, I should say, did you like, so I'm trying to think, so like if you were wanting to invite a friend, did you think like, oh, I should probably invite like whoever they're dating, or is it more of like it's only your that one friend? Because I think a lot of times people tend to get stuck at that point, and that's like it's a small but yet big point. So I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I think for us it wasn't necessarily like, oh, if I invite this friend, I have to invite their person they're dating or their significant other, because I knew where all of them were at relationship wise, which was really nice, because it was a bunch of high school friends that I haven't seen in a while.
Sure.
But it was kind of like, do I invite the whole group of friends that we hung out with, or like I was kind of disconnected even in high school with these people, even though they were a part of my friend group. So like, should I invite them? Should I not? Are they going to be hurt if I don't invite them, but invite a friend that I was close to in the friend group?
And then sometimes they could be like friends together, and it's like, well, did you? No, did you? Yeah. I'm like, oh,
yeah. So that was a big thing of like, I just don't know how far out to go. But I ended up deciding of like the core like 5 friends that I had kind of throughout that high school experience. So there were more that came in at different times and points and stuff, but we were like, we're gonna stick with the core that were there with me like the whole time. So.
Yeah, and I think at that point you just kind of have to like, I feel bad for saying this, but you kind of have to have like no hard feelings. Sorry, because otherwise, if you like feel bad, or if you're like second guessing, and then it just goes overwhelming, and at one point or at some point it gets too like expensive, and so that's a good point, especially if people just want to have an intimate thing. You just remember like whoever you're close with, even if it's like 5 years ago and you still talk. I mean, so awesome. Well, that sounds very, very nice and easy going. Like you said, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was for the most part. There were there are obviously like the downsides and people wanting to voice their opinions and us having to say no.
Yeah.
Really, the moms were the ones who did that, but
which is, I feel like it's typical, because they're like, well, we did this, but unfortunately this was like however long ago, and this is now, and everything has changed. Everything. So which is understandable, but it's like, Mom, I love you,
but this is my wedding. This is our wedding. Not yours.
So with like that kind of being said, it kind of like keeping it small and intimate, and it seems like everything went so smoothly. Was there like budget strategies that you guys may have done, or like did you do something a little bit differently that you like maybe saw on Pinterest and it's like, we can do that better, or like how did you go about that, if that was the case?
So when we we got engaged, we had thought, like, we're going to have to do this whole wedding with our own money. So we wanted to keep it as low cost as possible. Right. So I think a lot of honestly what saved us money was either doing things ourselves or not doing things at all.
Okay.
Like, I know I have a friend who's actually someone I knew in high school who's getting married today.
Sure.
But there was just a lot of, like, prep and stuff that he's been putting on his, like, Snapchat story and whatnot of, like, his and her favorite cookies or his and her favorite drinks. And I'm like, having to get all of that stuff is kind of a lot.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't realize how much that was going to cost. And then we are, like, budgeting it out. And we're like, okay, we don't need to do that.
Right.
Yeah. And honestly, just looking at a bunch of different options, too. Like, not necessarily getting, the best top-tier food, but supporting, like, a local small business to do that. So, like, we did our catering through, like, a small place in Milford.
And that was good, by the way.
Which
it was so good. Yeah. I love anything, like, Mexican food related. So, like, it was nachos, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah. They were so good, but it was a family friend of Owen's, so we got a little discount from that.
Oh, no way. Okay,
and then the person who did our flowers, family friend, got a little bit of a discount on that. They were so cute.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Fun fact, the decorations are still sitting in the back of my trunk.
No way. Oh, my God.
My mom was like, yeah, we put all the decorations in your trunk. You should sell those on Facebook Marketplace. And we haven't used our trunk, and we don't have room to store them in our apartment. So we're like, in the trunk they stay.
I mean, worst case, they might just, like, disappear if that's the worst case, and then it's not your issue anymore. No, I'm not jinxing that, but I don't know.
Yeah, honestly. And I think another thing that saved us a lot of money, because I have a bunch of friends getting married this year, and just kind of talking about them, they're like, oh, this venue costs this much, and then the reception venue is going to cost this much. I'm like, yikes. We did it at our church, and because, I don't know if it's because we work there, but I'm going to say it's because we work there.
Yeah.
We got, fun fact, a discount.
Oh, what?
And since we had the wedding and the reception in the same place, like, we had one price of, like, $500.
No.
And that was all that we paid for the venue.
Oh, that is great. Oh, that's really, definitely, because you guys are working there.
Yeah.
But I thought that worked out really well. Mm-hmm. Because the fact that the church can have, like, the chairs aren't, like, stuck, bolted in or whatever. That's nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. And we had so I was in the wedding of a friend who had their wedding there in August. And it was the same thing that we were planning on doing. So, like, having the ceremony, moving the chairs out, and then doing the reception.
Okay.
So we kind of got to, like, trial run it a little bit to see, like, oh, they budgeted an hour and a half for everything to move, but it only took 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. So now we know a little bit of, like, if we have people helping to do all of that, it's not going to take as much time as we think.
Right. Gotcha. That's nice. Because then you can be like, okay, that's great. Let's do that. Like, oh, maybe not that.
Maybe not quite that.
Right. So that's awesome. That's what I'm kind of doing too with when I go to all of the weddings, I'm like, oh, I like that too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But it's like, you stay in the budget and I don't care. As long as it's in the budget, I'm like, okay. Okay. I guess. Awesome. So let's see. So with that being said, what made you choose to just be at the church itself? Is it just for the fact that you guys had a good budget or a good cost of that? Or was it kind of more like tailored towards like you guys personally and kind of like more an intimate place to be?
Yeah, it definitely was more of an intimate place. The price was a bonus, but like that's where we met for the very first time.
Gotcha.
Was at
I remember that. Yes. Okay.
So we were like, like we could do it. We had looked at a bunch of other places and like, this one would be nice. Like you have great amenities. It's a fairly cheap price and all that stuff. But I think in the end, like we wanted our wedding to be personalized to us. And so the fact that we met at the church and like got to see each other every week at church. It was kind of like, this kind of pulls at our heartstrings a little bit. Right. So that's why we ended up choosing the church. Gotcha. The price was just a bonus.
Right, right. Oh, that's so cute. I think the first time I met Eric was at our high school, so I definitely don't want to get married there. So that's a weird, but that's cute. I like when people can use that or tailor that into their wedding because it's just more intimate. And I think that's who I am as well, but it's like...
But you don't want to have your wedding at a high school.
Right? Oh, that's awesome. So I'm going to move the conversation like in a whole different direction.
Okay.
So when you chose your dress, such a cute dress, by the way. I loved how simple it was, and the sleeves were great. Yeah.
I love the dress.
Oh. So with that being a little talk right there, how did you end up picking that dress specifically?
Yeah. So my mom she had said, okay, we're going to go to a bunch of different places. Like, you just need to make different reservations at a bunch of places because you got to try on a bunch of things, see what you like. And so that's kind of where it all started, was just go to a bunch of different places. And so then I'd go to, like, their websites and be like, what do some of your dresses look like? And look at some of the ones that I liked. Yeah. And they all were kind of, so, fun fact, the dress that I got was not the dress I envisioned me having.
No way.
Yeah. I thought that I was going to get, like, one with a very intricate top, and then it was going to, like, veer off into a plain skirt type of thing. But I was kind of just looking around, and Mom was like, just look at styles that you normally wouldn't get either, because you never really know. You're going to try on a lot of them. Yeah. So that's what I did, and I'd seen a picture of the dress that I ended up getting. I was like, this one's kind of cute.
Yeah.
I'll, like, screenshot that one. And so,
right.
So we ended up going, and it was actually the very first dress I tried on.
Oh,
was the dress that I ended up choosing.
Sure.
But it was gorgeous. I loved, like, the straight neckline, the, like, sheer sleeves, and then there was nothing. Right. Like, it was a very plain dress, but we added the belt because I want a little pizzazz so I can match like some jewelry to it.
Sure.
But yeah, so then I was like, I actually really like this dress. Oh. And some of my family was like, I didn't think this is what you were gonna like, but okay. So, like, we had to, like, envision it a little bit, and so yeah, that was kind of like the end of the first one. We went to, like, it was Blush, Bridal, and Lincoln.
Okay.
So we went to, like, David's Bridal and looked at a bunch of dresses, because that's where my two friends who got married in the summer, where they got their dresses. So I was like, who knows? Maybe I'll fall in love with a dress here. Right. There was definitely some styles that I liked, but none of them were super great. And I ended up comparing everything to the first dress.
The first one. Yep.
And so then we went to a different one in Wahoo. And that place was super great. It had my number 2 and 3 dress on it, like, in it. So, yeah. But again, I just am constantly comparing to the first dress I tried on. And I'm telling my family that, and they're like, I think that may be the one. Right. And so I think it was after the one in Wahoo where I called Blush, and I was like, hey, can I come in and, like, make sure that this is the dress that I want? I've tried on a lot of other dresses. I have some close contenders, but I'm still comparing everything to this dress. Okay. And so she was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, we close at, I think it was like 4:30. So if you can make it in before then, we can do it, and we can order it, and we can get it out of the way.
That's freaking
great. Like, let's go.
Oh.
So drove back and went, and I tried it on again, and I was like, yeah, this is the one that I want.
Right.
Oh. And so then we put it on order. And then when it came in, they do, like, a finishing touches appointment. So it's like a 30-minute appointment of looking just at the accessories. So, like, the veil, any jewelry, like the belt that I put on. We just tried on a bunch of different things just to see what I liked the most. And so that's when I ended up choosing the belt that I had and the little veil.
That was so freaking cute. Oh, I loved it. I love it. I imagined myself in, like, a satin dress or just a plain, but otherwise.
But anyway.
Oh, sorry, 1 second. That's such a cute story, and kudos to moms, because they're, like, just do it anyways. Just make sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what I did too. It's like, I just want to get the feel of the style. And I definitely tried on a ball gown, like a ball gown. I'm like,
no, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Because the lady that helps me out, bless her heart, she was like, yeah, this is going to stand out on its own. I'm like, what? She was like, yeah, watch. And she just was like, see? I'm like, oh. And so I could barely move.
You're okay.
Or
editing this.
Yeah, so she was like, yeah, watch this, and it just like stood up on its own. I'm like, okay. So I still decided to try it on. I'm like, yeah, no, thanks.
Yeah, by the last shop, it was like, everyone grab a dress they want me to try on, and I'll try it on. Because I knew what dress I was going to get.
Right.
So, tried on like a really tight one, which I definitely did not want. But a tight one was in my top 3, which I found really surprising. But tried on a black one.
Did you really? How did it feel? Because I've never done that.
I felt weird. I was like, I don't think I should be wearing black to a my own wedding.
Right.
It also just wasn't like my style. Like, it was a very low V cut, and I was like,
gotcha.
I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous, but
I didn't love it. Have this like low dress, like low cut dress, and I'm like, this is so weird, because the lowest I go is like just tiny bit lower, and I'm like, than I would say usual, but I'm like, this is awkward. I feel so awkward. I don't know why, but I do. But yes, I mean, yeah, I would like everything. You just gotta try it. Worst case, you're like, yeah, please take it off.
Yeah. Worst case, you take it off and you don't think about it again.
Right.
Which isn't that bad.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna steer it way off again. Because I don't know how to put my questions in an orderly fashion. Sometimes, and that's okay. So you had mentioned like how to pick who's in the party.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that like your sister was in it, and like I can't remember else who, to be quite honest with you, but like when you decided to choose everyone, how did you go about that, and kind of like what was your thought process there?
Yeah, so we knew that we didn't want a huge 13 people on each side. Like, we didn't want a really, really big one. So we kind of just sat and talked about who are some people right now who we are like the closest with.
Okay.
And that's kind of where we ended up drawing our people from. So obviously, like, my sister was going to be in it because I've known her my entire life.
Right.
Well, all except for like 3 years.
Right.
That's when I was a little kid, so I didn't know anyone.
Yeah.
So I knew I wanted her to be like a very integral part. Mm-hmm. So she was obviously my maid of honor.
Yeah.
She's the sweetest little thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then the other 4, so 2 of them, it was Mary and Lily.
Okay.
I was really, really close to, like, they were one of the first 2 people and friends that I made outside of my roommates at college.
Okay.
So, yeah, really got to know them, was in a friend group with them.
Yeah.
And some guys, and, like, they married within the friend group. It was kind of weird, like, it was 3 and 3, so it was me, Lily, and Mary, and then Ben, Colin, and Jacob. And so then Lily dated and married Colin.
Oh.
And Mary dated and married Ben.
Yeah.
And so then it was like me and this other guy, and I was like, sorry, Jacob, I'm not gonna date you.
Oh shoot.
Our personalities didn't match, and I think he knew that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they've just been like really big pieces of my life.
Gotcha.
They went to the same college ministry as I did, so not only were we growing with like our friendship, but also in our relationship with Christ. So it was really cool to see these girls. We were all kind of walking through the same seasons of life. Like, we were all single, and then one of them started dating. 3 months later, another one, and then 3 months later was Owen and I.
Oh my god!
And so we got married 2 months apart, and so it was like we really are walking through the same stages of life which was so cool.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want you two to be a part of this wedding.
Yeah.
And then Elena, she is a member of the band that I'm in. We the Many. Check it out.
Yeah. Yeah. We have been getting some views on my podcast, so if you want to shout yourself out, please do.
Yeah. We the Many on Spotify. We have one original Christmas song that we wrote and produced in 3 weeks, so it's not the greatest, but we're working on some more stuff. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. No,
but
that's great.
she's the only other girl in the band, so obviously like we got super duper close.
Okay.
And she's Colin's twin sister as well.
Okay.
So there's a lot of like interconnectedness between a bunch of that, which is absolutely hilarious. But I knew that I wanted her in there too.
Yeah.
And then the other girl, her name was Kirsten.
Okay.
Her and her boyfriend Demir, Owen and I had been discipling as a couple for like a year.
Oh, that's
and so they
cool.
were the ones that were playing the violins too.
Oh,
so
no
they
way.
weren't like
okay.
up on stage with us, but we
Right.
wanted them to be a part of that wedding party because we obviously love them so much.
Yeah.
And we were like, you guys should be a part of this big day.
Yeah.
So, and then I actually had another friend who was supposed to be a bridesmaid, but she had texted me. I don't remember exactly when, but I think it was after I got back from the summer, and she was like, fun fact, I'm actually moving to Wyoming and going to college again, so financially I don't think I can be a bridesmaid. And it obviously, like, I think for a day I was like, really? But then I kind of got over it. Like, she was going off to college and doing all that stuff for the first time again, and I was like, you do you, girl. I'd obviously love to have you here. Like, we still invited her, but financially she just couldn't afford it. And so that's why we were also lopsided, was because one of mine had like dropped out. And so we were like, oh no, how do we adjust to that? And so we just had one bridesmaid walk down with two groomsmen.
Gotcha. That makes sense. And like, kudos to you for just kind of like, no offense to anyone else, but just kind of like stepping up and just be like, I understand, like, completely fine. And I'm not trying to like bash on anyone or anything whatsoever, but for me, I don't know if I would handle it like that, because I'm like, I asked you first though. Yeah. Like, I want you to be here. Like, I would be selfish. But yes, kudos to you, because I couldn't. But which is, that's another big conversation and a struggle too, it seems like, because I'm in those Facebook groups, like the bride Facebook groups or whatever.
Right.
And unfortunately I see that quite often, but I'm like, I could totally say my 2 cents, but I obviously don't want to. But I'm like, girl, I feel you. I understand. Well,
I get it.
I feel you to an extent, because I have no idea. But
right.
But well, hopefully she's doing well, and I hope that everything goes so smoothly for her. Yeah. But hey, but also, I'm sure you guys will reconnect and enjoy.
Oh yeah, we've been texting recently because I think, like, I don't remember what it was. I think there was like a memory that came up on Snapchat, and I was like, I remember we did this, because it was me and her. So I sent it to her, and I was like, oh, look at how little we were. And so then we kind of just got to talking again, like. She's she loves it. She's going for like cosmetology. Oh, but kind of focusing on the hair. Like, she loves hair. I remember we would like be in her bathroom dyeing parts of her hair.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
We were like hair dyeing buddies, and like my freshman year of college, she still lived back in North Platte.
Sure.
But there was a weekend she came up and we hung out, and we dyed part of her hair pink, like the two front pieces of her hair pink in our dorm room. And I was like, who would have thought? So that's
great.
She's great. As far as I know, she's still dating the guy that she's dating. So it's been super fun to just like see how the Lord has been working in her life. And how he's just been like blessing her time and time again.
Sure. Oh, that's so awesome. Well, yeah, like I said, I'm sure you guys will be just fine. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a good big question. So, when you chose your photographer and videographer, I'm asking that. Uh, and be super honest if you can. If not, just tell me later. No, so I believe, or I do remember that someone referred to you, or you to us.
Right.
Wow, my words, and I'm so awkward today. Which, so awesome. I love all four of you, the Aaron and Ryan, and you guys for sure. So with that being all said, what made you guys officially decide? Like, I can't do it because
you got the little thing in the way. Right. So, being completely honest.
Yes, please do.
Owen did a majority of that work when I was gone.
Okay.
So, I guess, side tangent, I'm talking about how I was gone. I was actually serving on I was on a mission trip in South Asia over the course of the summer.
God, no way.
So, from, the last week of May to, halfway through July, I wasn't in the United States of America. Sure. I was gone and had minimal communication with family and friends.
Gotcha.
Actually, I had no communication with friends. It was just my family that I could have communication with. So,
okay. You couldn't have any communication, or
I had just some. So it was I could have a 30-minute phone call every 2 weeks with. Because I was engaged to Owen, it was a little bit different. So I got a 30-minute phone call with my family and a 30-minute phone call with Owen. But, that was it. So over the course of the summer, I talked with my family and Owen for an hour and a half.
Gotcha.
Which was absolutely insane. So he did so much of, the bigger things over the summer, including photographer and videographer. Yeah. So I really didn't have a huge role in that. But he had done his research. He talked to Ryan a little bit about it.
Yeah.
And, how the whole experience went. And so then when I came back, he was kind of like, these are the ones that I'm kind of thinking. What do you think? And so, we went to website. I stalked y'all a little bit. And I was like,
yes, please do.
Y'all look they look like a fun crowd. And I think I had read Aaron and Ryan's, review that you have on your website.
They're
and I was like,
so great.
Okay. If they like them, I know we're going to like them.
Right. Because you guys, all four of you guys go to church together.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome. I'm sorry. I feel like I cut you off.
No, you're okay. So, yeah, I kind of looked and I was like, oh, they look great. Yeah. Let's do it. And then when we decided it, we had a few Zoom calls with Eric. And just kind of getting to talk and get to know him and him wanting to get to know us. We were like, you guys are so sweet. Every time we would hang up the call, it'd be like, we love these people so much. And we're so glad that we're so glad that we chose you guys. After every interaction, it's like, oh, we want to be their friends for a really long time.
Yeah. Oh my God. When I had missed that one picture that I had didn't send in the album, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I don't know what to do. Eric, help me. I need to get it. I need it now.
I need to do it as fast as I can.
Yeah. Well, because what happened is, what did I do? I don't remember what I did, but I had missed this one photo. And I think you asked again for your mom, and she was like, honestly, it's okay. And I'm like, I still feel horrible. Well, because I got the first one, but the second one, I just don't think, because she was asking a picture with two people in it, right? I can't remember. And I'm like, I just genuinely don't think we got the people together.
Right.
But hopefully she still likes us, because I'm like, I'm so sorry. But no, that's awesome though, because it just warms our heart when we hear that. And I genuinely believe that the fact that you guys are we're close in age, I think we have the vibes that thank you for understanding what I'm saying, because don't.
I get it. Close to the same age. I just understand you a little bit.
Yes, I remember the first video call with Owen, and he said well, she's not here right now or something, and I'm like, okay, oh, okay.
Well, interesting.
Well, it's I think he tried to explain it, but I'm like, huh? But kudos to him, because that was a big big thing. Because granted that I hear most of the time guys are just like, yeah, sure, yes,
Yeah,
go do what you want. I'm like, but I want your help.
yeah. Which I think that was unlike a lot of other friends who I know have gotten married, where it's like, ladies, just do what you want. Like, I'm here to support you. Owen was like, no, I kind of want this. Like, can we figure out how to implement this, or like how to do this?
Yeah.
And so he was very, very active in the wedding planning process, which I think is unique, especially just hearing different stories where it's like the brides and their moms are taking care of absolutely everything, and the groom's kind of just here. Yeah. But he was like very involved. We had a lot of conversations just about like what we wanted our wedding to be.
Sure.
So,
and that's good, because I think then too you guys get a full understanding of what you want, just used to, instead of like mom and bride or whoever else that isn't you two.
Yeah, like we wanted to kind of present as a united front of we talked about this and this is what we want.
Right.
So we're open to advice or things that you have to say, but just know that we might not.
Sure. Yeah. Which is good, because and it kudos to you guys for putting your foot down if you have to, because that's another big conversation. I was gonna say issue, but
Oh yeah.
So with that being said, kind of like making it intimate and understanding that you guys, it's you two. Was there anything that's like that you guys personalized other than the church that you guys have done or made for the wedding day?
I was like, here's some things that we made very personal to us in our relationship. So
sure.
We wore yellow Converse.
That's right. Oh my god, I don't know why I forgot that too. Okay, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, we had talked about it, and I was like, I don't want to wear heels. I'll probably just get a new pair of Converse anyway, because the ones I have are gross and disgusting.
Right.
And so he was like, well, what if we got matching Converse? And I was like, ooh, that could be really fun. And so our favorite, like my favorite color is orange and his is yellow.
Okay.
But a lot of the decorations and stuff were yellow, so we lean more towards the yellow Converse.
Gotcha.
But that was very personal to us, just because, like, we both love the color, and they were comfy shoes. Yes. And I wasn't dying to take them off of my feet, which was really nice. Yeah. I love being comfortable in my own shoes. So that was one little thing that we kind of customized. Yeah. Another one was the food itself. So originally we were planning the whole thing. We went through a lot of date changes and time changes and all that stuff. And so we, at the very beginning of our relationship, we kind of made it a tradition. On Sunday nights, we would get a bag of chips, we'd get a thing of guacamole and a thing of salsa, and we called it Mexican picnic. Oh. And so that's what we did so many Sunday nights in our relationship. And we still do sometimes just for fun. Right. But we were like, we want to implement that into the wedding, because that's been a big tradition that we've had. Okay. And so we were like, how can we do that while incorporating more food? And so that's when nachos came into play. Yeah. Of like, we get the chips, we get the guac, we get the salsa, but if people want to add extra meat or cheese or other toppings, like they absolutely can. Right. But that was why like we chose the nachos above anything else. Yeah. Like there were definitely a lot of other things that we could have done. Like pasta is super quick and easy. I was like, pizza is also kind of easy, but we were like, how can we personalize this just a little bit more? So that's where we got the nachos from. Was freaking cool. Our Mexican picnic nights on Sunday nights.
Yes, definitely keep that going, because I don't know. Going forward, I think Eric and I did something, and I don't even remember what we did anymore. But no, it's always fun to just do those like date nights with your partner, because at least I forget to forget to just like spend time with him. Okay, that sounds really bad. That sounds really bad. But I like sometimes we just like don't go like out or anything. We do like sushi. We like sushi, so we just like sushi. We go to Tokyo Sushi downtown Omaha, and it's like with their lunch hour is like $15 all you can eat. So it's like, score, let's go. And he's like, sushi. I'm like, yes, please.
Yes,
and it's
please.
just like it's just like that time of like every once in a while. It's like, it's nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. Wow, I've actually covered a lot. I keep saying this, but I need a lot more questions. So with all this being said and done, and I remember you said you were out for quite a while, but with I'm assuming it was all stressful and everything, or at least a little bit. Mm-hmm. With the stressful times, how did you kind of just like make yourself relax, or just give yourself some like your self-care time? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my question.
I was like, is there more to this? Or
no, I promise.
Yeah. I think, honestly, the wedding planning process, we wanted to make it as stress-free as possible, which is why, like, we talked a lot about what we wanted.
Sure.
And then we, like, told people that this is how it was going to happen. Sure. Instead of listening to, like, my mom and his mom and my dad and his dad and my grandparents and my aunts and uncles and stuff.
Gotcha.
And his aunts and uncles just, like, bringing in their opinions.
Yeah.
We were kind of like, this is what we want to do, and so this is what we're going to do.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I think a lot of the stress came from people saying that, like, we needed to do stuff.
Oh, okay.
Which we were like, actually, we don't. Because fun fact, y'all got married, I don't know, 20, 25 years ago.
Right.
And it's not the same. And we are not you. Yep. And we're not anyone else's wedding who's coming up. Like, this is our wedding. Mm-hmm. And so there definitely were stressful times. But I think what helped in all of that was, like, taking time, just Owen and I, to sit and, like, make sure that this is exactly what we wanted.
Sure.
Just so that when opinions and recommendations came up, it was like, nope.
Yeah.
We decided on this, and this is what we want.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just making sure that we were taking care of each other.
Okay.
Amidst all of this, and making sure that each other felt heard. Yeah. Was really big at relieving just a lot of the stress that could have been there. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Or if there was a night where, like a family member had requested or told us that we needed to do this, this, and this. It was like, okay, we're going to have a night, and we're not going to talk about wedding at all.
Yeah.
Like, let's just take a night to not do that.
Right, which definitely is a good thing, because I would assume a lot of brides are like, okay, we need this, this, and this. I still feel like I need to do something, but you don't have to. No. It's okay to just take a day, but don't put it last minute. But if that's you, that's you. That's you. If it's you, go for it, but definitely not me. I can't do that. Awesome. So, kind of to wrap up that conversation, was there anything that, like, unexpected things that popped up, like, majorly? I know we kind of, like, talked about, like, what we just talked about or whatever, but, yeah, was there anything that was, like, you're like, oh, that happened?
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, I say that they're two little things, but they're really not that little.
Sure.
I think it was a few weeks before our wedding. I had, like, a great-grandma die. Like, one of my great-grandmas died. And I was like,
sure,
what's happening? Like, I thought she was gonna, like, I thought she was gonna make it, but her health had just declined really, really fast. And then, like, before we knew it, she was gone. And then that same week, like, my grandpa had fallen down the stairs and had to be taken in an ambulance to, like, a hospital. Sure. And then my other great-grandma, she wasn't doing so good. So actually, like, she wasn't able to make it to the wedding because she was in the hospital.
Right.
And so I think there was just a lot of health issues that kind of popped up unexpectedly, and it's like, it's just kind of a stressful time because the wedding's getting closer, but now I have family members who are dying or getting hurt and having to go to the hospital, and I was like, it was so much.
Yeah. Okay.
And Owen did a phenomenal job of, like, I know we're in the middle of planning our wedding, but you need to take time and you need to, like, process what just happened, or else you're not going to be able to until far after the wedding. Right. And I was like, so we, like, sat on the couch and just kind of talked about it, and I was bawling my eyes out of, like, why is this all happening so close to the wedding? Oh. And I think that was, like, some hard and unexpected things that we had to go through. Yeah. I think, obviously, it was hard on me because it was my side of the family.
Yeah, understandably.
But, like, Owen having to step in and take care of me kind of in that season, definitely, like, it weighed on him a little bit, but he was an absolute trooper in just, like, you need to make sure you process all of this so that we can, like, move forward with the wedding planning and have it be, like, a positive thing. Right. So that was kind of hard.
Holy moly. No, which is understandable, though. Good. I'm glad that Owen was able to be there for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I said, I have no idea what I've done. Like, I am such an emotional person, so I have no idea. Yeah, kudos to you both, for sure. Yeah. And it definitely seemed like on the day that you guys were just in that moment. Mm-hmm. And no matter what happened around you, it didn't matter. Unless if, like, it could completely wrong, but that's what I saw. And that's exactly what you need to do. Just have designated people to deal with shit. Sorry, but have designated people to deal with stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, though. If I'm being honest, I never know what to, like, say or do, but I'm like, if you need a hug, I can give you a hug. I'll give you a hug right now. Oh, gosh. Gotcha. Well, that's honestly all I have today. Because we covered a lot, which is nice. I like to just talk. Yeah,
it is fun. Just have a little conversation and make something out of it.
Yeah, for sure. So one last time, super random, but what was your band called again?
We the Many.
We the Many. Yeah. Okay, check it out, because I also have to check it out, and that I feel so bad, but I need to, and I will.
It's okay. But we only have one song, and
that's okay. One song, it can blow up, and it'll take you through the roof.
Where did it? Like I said before, we wrote and produced it in 3 weeks. So is the quality the greatest? Great. No, because we were doing this for the very first time, and it was like, yikes. But we knew we wanted to get it. Like, we had talked about getting one out, so we did. But we're working on a few more original songs, and we'll hopefully get one of them out by, like, April, May-ish. Just, like, one song, and then we have some plans for the rest of the year. But
nice. Oh, that's exciting. Well, that's all we have for today. Thanks for coming on here again. I am so happy you were able to be here.
Thanks for having me. I felt honored. I was like, oh, my photographer wants me to be on the podcast. I'm gonna cry.
Oh, it's like honored that, like, everyone says yes, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, awkwardly me saying this is it, and we'll see you in the next one. And we're done.
Oh my goodness.